Hi guys, Spiritual Butterfly here. So I've not done a video in quite a while because obviously going through my awakening, especially in the last few months, I think it's quite a struggle some of the time to gather your thoughts and realise and understand where you are in relation to the world and the people around you and even your own thoughts. So I've just been sort of steadily trying to come to terms with my life and all my previous actions and way of living and everything like that. And I really think that the last month everything's sort of been coming to the top to be cleared and healed, and just to address everything and come to terms with everything about myself and my life and my past experiences and where I want to go moving forward, and then obviously looking at the world, the state of the world. Obviously in my other videos I speak about the fact that when you wake up it's just not always easy. I know that a lot of people, they like to paint this picture that when you wake up it's just complete and utter bliss, and you do get states and days like that where you just feel completely connected and completely full of joy and so positive and full of ideas and creativity, and it can almost feel and look bipolar, which is what I'm sure the majority of the people that do wake up and that are waking up now, the doctors and psychiatrists and health professionals and all these people, this has all been already set up so that when we do awaken and we do start to understand and see a life that we thought was so actually isn't, and that's been set up in such a way that when we do wake up we're automatically told there's like something wrong, or we automatically feel ourselves like something's wrong. We're walking around, most people that we speak to don't feel the same way as us, or they don't understand what it is that we're saying, and it's quite hard to relate to a lot of the people, and especially when you stop doing a lot of the things, the ways of the world. Even the people that they're all still very good people. It doesn't mean that they're not good people. It just means that you no longer resonate with a lot of the ways that the majority of the people have got, and so it's very hard to relate to most people. And I think the thing that's got me through is watching a lot of YouTube videos, reading a lot about spiritual awakening, not to give me the answers, because the Lord's guiding me to them answers, the angels are guiding me to those answers, and I do believe that the answers that relate to you, they're all inside you, but you just need to keep on doing that shadow work and that inner work. But it's hard, not relating to the people, and it's hard. It's just not a bed of roses waking up. There is a dark side to it, and there's a lot of pain involved. Whether it's past life trauma, ancestral trauma from this life, we've all got it. And when you wake up, there really isn't any more time to ignore that, and there's no more time to do a wrong thing, because when you know that the thing's wrong, there's no time to ignore it anymore. The feeling that you would get from trying to ignore maybe, gossiping or doing something that's out of alignment with you, or drinking or I'm not saying that people that drink are bad, because they're just in a totally different place, and obviously not everybody is a bad drunk, and not everybody, you know, we've all got different karma to deal with, and also, you know, it depends how your parents have been and their parents before them, and what baggage you've came in with and what lessons you've had. I think waking up when you've had quite a traumatic and hard life, you've got so much programming that's completely wrong and out of alignment with who you are, and who out of alignment with complete love and complete sanity. And I think, you know, although you can look and feel like you're actually going insane waking up, it's the opposite. It's actually that, you know, you are actually becoming very sane and very clear-minded. And, you know, when you're saying to, well, anybody in general, you know, I don't like drinking, and I don't like going to certain places. I don't like going to pubs and places like that. And obviously you grow out of going to things like nightclubs anyway as you get older, but I think a lot of people still tend to drink at home. Like, they'll drink wine on a night, or they'll drink cans of lager and what have you. But it's just not good for our body. And I think because we're in this world where we've been programmed to believe that, you know, that's just a relaxing thing, or it's a pastime, it's a way to chill out. But all of those types of things, they're always putting off the inevitable, and that is that we do have to completely address who we are as a person, and, you know, that needs to be done as soon as it possibly can. And it's not always easy. It's like, you know, it's not easy to walk away from people that are bad for you. You know, it's all a process, and it's not easy to be with self when you feel, especially the times when you're alone. Sometimes, because now all of my children are at school full time, and I'm used to being really busy at home with them or going places, and at the moment obviously there's nowhere we can go. And I do think that this time, although it's been a very, very hard time for us all as a collective, some more so than others, you know, people who've lost their family and things like that, I do think that it was all, you know, meant to be, in the way that the creator knows the plan. The creator knows every single bit of the plan. You know, it would be nice to think, oh yeah, you know, we can just manifest everything we want, and we can just, if we just take control of our life. You know, it's not going to work out that way. The creator has everything set up, you know, every single event, every single thought, word, action, it all has an outcome. That's what karma is. It all has things in relation to it, and so the creator set everything up in the most perfect way so that we would be able to move forward, although a lot of the time it doesn't feel perfect and it doesn't feel like it's what we want. But in the long run, it all has its purpose, and it all has its due outcome. And unfortunately, as I've said before, we do learn and grow from the painful things. And I think as a collective, we're starting to really see what's wrong in the world at the moment. You know, as the light is beginning to shine so bright on the whole world, we're really starting to see what's wrong. Because if you think about it, if you were to shine a torch on something that, you know, a bright light on a room that wasn't clean, as opposed to putting a lamp on in that room, you know, you would see everything so much more. And that's what's happening, you know, when the lights shining so bright from the creator, it's the way the planets are aligned. You know, December 21st, we've got Jupiter and Saturn conjunct. I think it's like the first time in 800 years that they've been as close. And they're going to be in Aquarius. So, you know, there's going to be big changes. A big shift is definitely taking place, and we've seen that leading up to now, but I don't believe that it's just going to be on December 21st. We're all just going to wake up and think, wow, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I know everything. I remember everything about everything. I think it's still always a work in progress, and those of us that are waking up, you know, it has been, for me personally, it has been a wonderful experience, but also very scary at times, you know, the feelings that I've had to go through, and in all honesty, the feelings have been the thing that have made me really better myself in every way. There's, you know, the feelings when something's not right, if, you know, if it's the smallest thing, there's no ignoring it, you know, you've always got to do the right thing. And at times that's been very exhausting. Not that it's not that I didn't want to always do the right thing, because I do, but in a world where everyone that's around you seems to be doing the same type of things as you used to feel like before, or you used to do before, it can feel very lonely, and also like you're just a complete geek, or like, not a stick in the mud, I just can't think of the right word, like, you know, you're just the sensible one in every situation. But that's a really good thing, and that's helped my life to progress so much more, because, you know, I'm always in a fresh mind. And yes, I do have days where the energy really affects me in a crazy way, especially around the full moons, and not every time. This last full moon, it didn't really affect me in a negative way. In fact, I actually felt really good this time, but a lot of the times when it's been a full moon, depending on the planetary alignment as well, I have actually felt so in a dark place, and that's scary, because, you know, as much as you try and explain to people, you know, I really don't feel like coming over today, or I don't feel like going anywhere today, you know, because I feel so sad. You find yourself just actually ignoring the phone, or just trying to stay in. And as I say, that can look very bipolar to people, because they're not yet awake, but they will get to that stage where they're waking up and they can see the invisible prison that we're living in. I mean, everything about it, we're not free. The only thing they can't take away from us is our soul. You know, that's why meditation is really key at this time, because it really just gives you that time to fully relax and fully shut off and stop the thoughts, quiet the mind, prayer, you know, keep on praying. You know, the Lord has done so much for me. You know, before I had my awakening 5 years ago, I obviously didn't know it at the time, but because I'd had such a bad and troubled childhood and adult life until the point of awakening, I couldn't actually see that I could have took control of my life a long time ago. And that was really after praying, because things got so bad for me that I actually cried and prayed so hard to Jesus. And honestly, you know, if you knock on the door will be answered, and you've just got to keep on knocking and keep on moving forward with everything. And you will just, you know, you do have your days where you feel that energy, and you feel like you're back to where you were before, that you feel them same feelings, and you can still feel like you're back to being that little girl or that little boy, or go back to the place where, you know, you had a trauma occur and you weren't in a good place. But you've got to remember that you're not there now, and you are in this moment, and if this moment isn't good for you, once you're awake, you can see that the moment isn't good and you can actually see why. So therefore you can change the situation. You can choose to get rid of negative people and behaviours and not go places that are not good for you and that are not serving your highest good. You can make the necessary changes, and prayer really does serve you so well. You know, the Lord doesn't, the Creator doesn't need anything from us. The Creator doesn't need anything to be whole. The Creator already has an abundance of everything: joy, love, compassion, forgiveness, everything. You know, the Creator wants to help us through. And the reason why we're told, guided to live in a clean, whole and forgiving, good and pure life is not to condemn us. Those things that the Lord told us with the eyes to see, we will see, and He told us so that we could get home, to be set free to a place where we're not in bounds and we're not bound by the world, because the material things literally mean nothing at all. You know, if they were gone tomorrow, you would be left with the family and friends that you've got and the person that you are. And you know, people can be in a fake sense of bliss with an abundance of material things and travelling and feeling great and getting respect for all the wrong reasons. And that's nice, but the Lord says, you know, worry not, little children. You know, our Father will take care of today and tomorrow. You know, you just, all the material things, there will be added after, but it's so important to get right with who you are as a person and to really get into the right vibration and alignment with goodness and self-acceptance and forgiving yourself for any wrong that you feel you've done in your past, and also forgiving yourself for feeling so down on yourself for the things that other people have done, and to let that go and forgive them, because without forgiving those people and those actions, and without forgiving yourself and letting it go, you're just trapped in these bonds and you're bound by these invisible chains that need to be let go of. And I think, you know, going through the end of this year into 2021, we're really going to start to see every single thing for what it is. And you know, those of us that have been on the journey know that it's been hard, and the more that we see, it can feel like it's getting darker and darker, because we're thinking, hold on, I've woke up and I thought everything was going to get great if I was starting to walk in the good path. But it's more that it's enabling us to see it. And I think as a collective, we need to realise that we all need to be waking up, and obviously we can't wake anybody up. You know, if our words encourage one another and comfort each other enough, that we know there's enough of us going through this, that you're not crazy and there's a lot of us going through it. But we can't really actively go around telling other people about the things, because the Lord, the Creator, they have everything set up ready that people will awake from their slumber when the day is right and when the time is right. So I just wanted to do a little video, just if it helps even one person, just to realise that, you know, there's a lot of us going through it and there is a big shift taking place, and